Hello and welcome to tonight's episode of the Thumbcast. Tonight we'll be going over part two of marketing and sales, getting your product to market. Today we're going to dive into digital and local marketing. So digital marketing strategies for your microgreens. We're going to aim to thrive to get your first the digital world. We got to take care of it. It's robust digital market strategies and non-negotiable and how we can approach this segment to maximize each engagement. Before we get into this episode, let's welcome in the co-host as always. Andy, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Doing great. Had a great day. Had some people come in and check the farm out. Some students that wanted to do their one-on-one live here, and they came in and did that. And we're here for about an hour and a half, and we showed them around the farm and what we do and everything else. They're just starting to grow. They're going headfirst in. They got like a 640 square foot building they're growing in, and they're going
Nice.
headfirst, and they have never grown anything. And today was the first time they ate microgreens. So
Oh, wow.
they're diving in and they're going for it. They said there's no turning back. So I'm glad we can help them out and get on that path. So
Nice, nice. Yeah, I had a really good coaching call this morning with a couple. They're growing faster than they can keep up with, so it's definitely a
nice.
good problem to have.
That's always a good problem to have. We've definitely been there, running out of
Oh,
space,
yeah.
right?
Yep. Too many times, unfortunately.
Yeah, Andy's doing that right now, running out of space. So
Yeah,
uh,
literally.
I'm hope to have that problem here again soon. So and then figure out how to get out of the lease to get to a bigger building. But we'll figure that out, and that'd be a good problem to have down the road.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the first thing we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about website optimization. So you can put a website out there, but if you don't optimize it, you don't get the SEO search engines out there correctly. Nobody's going to find you, even if they're looking for microgreens in your area. If that site's not set up correctly, they're not going to be able to find you if they're even looking. So you want to make sure that you do that. So the best practices, you got to get your search engine visibility using the right keywords. So making sure you obviously put microgreens, urban farming, indoor farming. You can go in detail of what you're growing and stuff, everything like that. You want to make sure you have that SEO search engine correctly. And then the user experience, obviously, want to ensure the website it's easy to navigate. This day and age, people don't want to read through a whole bunch of stuff. They want to find the information out and they want to know where to go. So you got to tell them what to do and everything else. Andy, how'd you? I know you're pretty good at doing all the back end website stuff, right? I believe.
Yeah, the SEO stuff is definitely a pretty important piece, mainly because if somebody finds your page, so if they type in something that would actually cause your page to show up, that particular page is, when you see it on Google, basically you have the title and a little description. That's where that SEO stuff is being pulled from. It's not the content that's actually on your website; it's the title and the description that you set. When you actually set up the SEO. So it's very important to put that information in. And you don't want to go crazy with it. Like Mike said, just keep it short and simple. Give a general overview of whatever each page is, and you can do that usually individually. It may be a little hard to find. So I know like with Square, that's what we use. You have to go into kind of like the page settings, and then there's a couple of tabs across the top. You have to go to the SEO one and set up things there, which makes things a little fun. But ultimately, your goal is just to get people to the site. And then, like Mike said, you're telling them what to do, where to go next. Set them up to basically funnel them towards something that where they're going to give you money. Ideally,
Yeah.
if it's a subscription they're signing up for, if it's them buying products or whatever. So really try and push them in that direction. So, right off the bat, the very first thing you see on our website is you can learn about microgreens or you can buy now. I mean, it's like, if they already know what they are, then they can go and quickly shop easily. If they don't know what they are, they can learn about what they are. And guess what's on that learn page? A bunch of links to buy.
Yeah.
So, that's really ultimately you just want to funnel people down because they don't want to spend a lot of time figuring things out, is what it boils down to. Everybody wants to get in, get out, get the information they need, do what they want to do, and be done.
Yep. Just think about we're in a fast paced world,
Yeah.
TikTok, YouTube shorts, them all blowing up right now. People want that information fast. They want, a minute. Attention spans are a minute, maybe 2 minutes of people. So you got to grab them right away
Yep.
or they're moving on to the next person. So definitely that. So definitely make sure you set your website up. Cheap plug. We're going to be doing a marketing thing in our course. So we're going to be working with Us Marketing. So you guys can check that out if you want to do that. It's just, you can links are in the bios, everything else here. You can go check that out. But so we'll be setting all that up as well. But so content marketing, so blog posting, like this is SEO searching as well. So like if you make a blog post, it's going to pull it as your search engine stuff as well. Your Google's going to pull that as a search engine of stuff. So your blog is going to be very important, and you can You can go steal people's blogs. You can go steal information about microgreens and just put general information out there. You don't have to recreate something. You can go to ChatGPT and ask them, what's the best thing about my broccoli microgreens? It's going to spit out something for you. Make sure you read it over and it's got the right information. And then you can put that out as a blog post. You can do things simple these days. You don't have to be spending hours making a blog post. You just want to get information out there, especially when you're first starting. Get something out there. Maybe make a video along with that. That is your own, that you're showing your products. Like Bandy was talking about on the last episode, the B-roll stuff, filming that stuff.
Yep.
So you have it in your back pocket. Just film your products, film what you're doing. And then you could add that as a video on there, because people are going to be more inclined watching the video and maybe read a little bit. But if they get there because the search engine brought them on the blog post, and then they see a video on there as well, they're probably most likely going to watch that video and go, oh, that product looks really good. And then they probably will maybe read at that point. But you want to grab their attention maybe with a video at first, because we live in a video world. You're on here, you're watching videos, you're not reading and learning about microgreens. You're listening to us talk about it. So videos work, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Andy, you're really good
Yeah.
at this
And
on your farm, showing videos and stuff.
yeah, not as good as I should be, but it's definitely, it comes easy for me, thankfully. But think about it from this standpoint too. If you embed a YouTube video, for example, into one of your pages, who owns YouTube?
Google.
Anybody know? Yeah. So Google's obviously going to be very happy that you have YouTube videos embedded into your website. So beyond that, not that that's that big of an issue, but you get what I'm saying. You kind of just help them out a little bit. They'll help you out a little bit. But ultimately, what search engines love to see beyond great content, beyond people being driven to your page because you have good content, they like to see things changing. And that's where a blog can come in really handy. If you're just doing something like that regularly, you're adding new content to the website on a regular basis. They like to see active websites, because if they're going to send somebody somewhere, they want to have them, if they're going the first time and then they're going back a second time or a third time or a fourth time, they would love to be able to present that user with something new, some new information on there as well. So just some things to think about. So just rotate your pictures, rotate your content, whatever you have to do. It doesn't have to be a blog necessarily, but
Yeah.
even if it's like having your Instagram feed, or whatever, put right into your website. Every time you post to Instagram, that page is going to update automatically. So makes things nice and simple to keep things updated. So a bunch of different little tricks of the trade that you can kind of do, but SEO changes all the time. I mean, unfortunately, it's just the way of the game. That's how SEO managers stay in business, because they have to keep up with that stuff. For the most part, as long as your content's changing and you've got good content, a good solid layout, it's mobile friendly, all those fun things, and you should be in good shape as long as you keep it up to date.
Yeah, a lot of them web pages nowadays talking about mobile friendly is you can switch to mobile while you're on doing it on a web page and see what it looks like it's mobile. So you can make sure it fits in there and looks good, because most people are on their mobile phone watching
Yeah.
stuff, looking through articles and everything else. So you definitely want to make sure you check that it's mobile friendly, because you can make a
Yeah.
beautiful little blog, beautiful video about it. It's awesome. And then everybody goes to look at it on their phone and it's unreadable, unwatchable on their phone, and they're moving on. So great
Yep.
point, Andy, making sure it's visible on mobile, because that's where everybody's at, is mobile.
Yeah, it's almost probably more important that it looks good on a mobile phone nowadays than on a computer, sadly. So,
Yeah,
and make sure
sadly.
that, they can go through the whole process, checking out the whole 9 yards, that everything looks good, all the buttons are where they're supposed to be, things are centered or whatever, however you want them to look, just double check all that stuff on both platforms. If you can find somebody that has an iPhone versus an Android, that they can test it and run through it, just have them go through all the pages and just send you, feedback or whatever. It's not a big deal. It doesn't take that long for somebody to do that. For the most part, most microgreen websites aren't going to be that big, so it shouldn't
Yeah.
take them more than 20 minutes to surf through all the pages and just give you quick feedback. So it's definitely good to have that, just have somebody take a
Yeah.
look at it. Because the last thing you want to have somebody do is they're, going through, they're about to sign up for a subscription, and for whatever reason, the subscription button sign up
Yeah.
doesn't show up, or they fill out the whole entire form and then it won't submit for some reason. It's worth testing all that before you send it out to your people, to
Yep.
try and get customers off your site. So just take that time. It's well worth it to make sure it's working properly.
Yeah, when we set our website up, we went through and looked at it all, and we didn't properly probably check mobile, but we did make sure all the buttons worked. We even went through the whole payment process and paid ourselves. You got that little bit
Yep.
of fee, but we made sure it worked. That fee that's going to a dollar that it's going to cost you to buy yourself products. Obviously you're not giving yourself products, but so you're only costing yourself about $1. But you want to make sure that buttons work. Worst thing to do is nobody's buying from a website. Well, 100 people tried, but nobody could buy anything, and now you're out that money, and they're not coming back. Uh,
Yeah.
the one shot,
Yep.
get it right, especially if they're trying to
Yeah.
buy
That's
one shot.
And that's a really important point because, if you go to a website and anybody would do this, if they go there one time and it doesn't work, you're never going to bother going back. You're like, oh, that's that website that didn't work. I'll go to the next guy. It's not like I'm going to go back and check. Oh, is anybody's site working now? I mean, it's not something I'm probably going to proactively think to do. So you have that one shot and that's it. So if you lose them there, they're probably not going to come back. So just some things to think about. It's a good point.
Cue up Eminem, one shot. Don't copyright me, YouTube. Don't copyright me. Uh, all right.
Demonetized.
Yes. Social media marketing. So that's, like website, putting up stuff on there and everything like that, your blog, information about you and everything else. Again, keep it simple, but you need to have a website to make sure you're legitimate, because even if they find you on social media, which we're getting ready to talk about briefly here, they're probably going to go look and see if you have a website to see if you're legit. Even if they're not doing anything over there, they're just going to check and, oh, this is this company legit? Because you see a lot of pop up by night. Even microgreen growers, we had one here that was promoting on Facebook, selling broccoli. Only thing they were selling was broccoli. Well, they did it for like 3 months and now they're gone. And they didn't even have a website. They were just promoting on Facebook. So I'm like, yeah, they're going to be gone. I knew that right away. They're going to be gone. They don't even have a website up. So they were no competition to us, and they were only growing broccoli. So that was weird as well. But whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was very strange. The only thing they were selling were broccoli. Never heard of that before. Just grow one crop. So
Yeah.
really weird. So social media marketing is important, but you got to have the website, the base of it, before you start doing your social media marketing. You want to focus on platforms that target your most active users, people that are going to be buying from you. So it could be Instagram, it could be Pinterest, if I could say that. Using visual contact, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, depending on what demographics you're going after. If you're going after 40 plus, you're probably going to be looking at Facebook, Instagram. If you're going after younger than that, you're probably going to be looking at TikTok. And I know there's issues with TikTok and some people have problems, but that's where the younger people are at. And so, you're in business, whether you like something or not, and you don't believe in it or whatever, you might have to still use it. I hate Meta. Sorry, Meta. I hate them, but we
Yeah.
have to use it for our business. It's just a must. We have to use it. So you want to make sure you're able to post on all them and you have your accounts all set up on every platform. Even if you don't post a lot on there, like we have a Pinterest account, but we hardly ever put anything on there, but recipes go on there and stuff like that, pictures of food and stuff. But we're not very active in it, but it's there. So if somebody searches it on there, they still find us, and maybe they go find us on something else. Andy, I'm sure for your business, you set up a lot of social networks.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we started heavy on Facebook. That was our big one right off the bat because we were trying to target that, 30 to 75-year-old person. 'Cause those are usually the ones that number one have,
Money.
expendable money they can get rid of. Yeah. And number two, they're getting older, so they want to work on getting health into their diet. So we kind of really targeted them to begin with. So we started with Facebook really heavy. That's honestly how we grew our business. I mean, literally through Facebook. Just doing local events and things like that. We would, sit up in our front yard. We would advertise on Facebook that we were going to be doing that. And we had people show up, and it worked out great. But ultimately, without a website to support it, to get people to make purchases, social media isn't always going to be sales.
Yeah.
You want to do a lot of storytelling. You want to do a lot of like, people finding out how you do things, how your farm works, who you are, things like that. And the goal is then to hopefully get them interested enough on Facebook to say, you know what, I want to support this person, and then hopefully they end up on your website. That's really where you're pushing for sales for the most part. But Instagram, things like that. I mean, I didn't have an Instagram account literally until we opened the market. Once we had the store, then I actually was like, all right, maybe I should do an Instagram account. And even after that, I mean, the Fresh Source Farms Instagram that I created, I probably hadn't touched in, I don't know, 2 years. So finally jumped back on there and did that. I created a TikTok account for the market. Never created one for the farm yet. That's on my list to do eventually, but I want to get in the new space before I go
Yeah.
too crazy with that.
Yep.
But I mean, I can literally say, and I said it in the last episode, having a professional website is how we got into a grocery store. Literally, they had a bunch of fly by nights that had just a Facebook page set up and nothing major, and they didn't trust them to be
Yep.
long term and sustainable. So when they saw we had all this stuff in place, and not only was it in place, but it looked really professional, they were like, okay, this guy's legit. And it definitely helps to be able to say, you've got other customers that you're working with, other grocery stores you're working with, other restaurants you're working with. All that stuff just helps build your reputation. And that's all stuff that you can post on social media. Every single time one of our chefs shares a picture, we try and post it on our Fresh Source Farms page
Yep.
as much as we think about it. That way you're helping promote those restaurants that are paying you money every single week. But you're also like helping people see, oh wow, I could use peas on chicken if I made it at my house or whatever.
Yep.
It's really just to kind of make them think outside the box and not just think to throw microgreens into a salad. So you can use it for so many things, education, storytelling. Is just it opens up a world of different possibilities. And somebody who's really good at it is Josh for sure. I
Yep.
mean, the guy's got a ton of followers. He posts
Yes.
all the time videos, really good informational stuff. So, check out what he's doing. At least you can get an idea, storytelling wise, how you might be able to build a good audience because he's got a whole lot of people following him.
Yes, he does.
So yeah, and he posts on a regular basis to keep
And
up with it.
it goes right into our next topic: consistent posting.
Yeah.
You can't post for a week and then nothing happens and you stop. It's going to take time. Social media works is if longer you do it, the more reach you're going to get, the more people are going to see it. That's just the way they work. That's the way the algorithm or whatever you want to call it, the audience, that's how they work. They have to see consistent posting. Know you're going to be there. If you're going to be there, you're going to consistent posting, then they start pushing you more. Like this channel is just getting our itty bitty microfarm channel is just getting more and more every day, getting more momentum because we're posting out here. We got videos going up every day. We got stuff going on, so it gets pushed a lot because the only way YouTube/Google makes money is if there's content on there and people are watching it. So if people are starting to watch it, they're going to start pushing it out more. They're going to start making more ad revenue. That's the way they make money. It's the way you can make money by being out there and talking to people and people see your farm. This channel started out as just promoting our farm, but it's turned into more teaching because we have a passion to make sure we go out and teach people. So it's kind of got a mix of both so people can find us, and it's fine that our customers find us on here and see that we're doing this. That's cool. They know we're actively in the business and trying to help people grow it. So, and we still post pictures of our foods and stuff on things, everything else. So, but consistent posting is key. Continue doing it. Do it for, if you're doing anything in life, anything, just not this, 90 days. Give it 90 days, see how it turns out. If it's not working, change what you're doing and then change that. If you're going to go work out for 90 days. Don't give up after 2 weeks. If you're going to start doing social media stuff and try to promote your business, do it for 90 days. See what works. You're not going to get a test in a week. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to know.
Yeah.
So engagement also with your followers. Make sure you're engaging with them, asking them questions, asking them to post their stuff. Hey, I know you got some microgreens from us, your home delivery people. And hey, would you mind sharing how you're using it and put it on our social media for us? Just tag us in it, whatever else. That's the best advertisement you could ever get. Having your customers post pictures of what they're using and how they're using it and how much they love you. The engagement of that is key. Andy, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, we've used so many pictures that our customers have posted. I love sharing those, especially because then it's not like this is how a chef uses this. This is how an actual normal person that may or may not even understand cooking at all is using this. So it's a great way to kind of call out your customers. We just say their first name, don't go into any other detail other than
Yeah.
that, but we make sure to share those and we save those pictures, which we've used many times in videos and stuff like that we posted over the years. So again, it's just you're creating this media library, that you can pull from at any time, and it makes the whole social media creation process a whole lot easier when you've got B-roll video of you doing things, B-roll video of your individual crops and things like that, and you've got pictures that you can pull from anytime. I have all tons of them on my phone. They're all organized in folders. So that way I can, if I'm like, oh, I got to post something today, I can easily just pull up, I use Adobe Rush on my phone because I have the Adobe suite anyway for all the stuff that we do. Um, drag in a couple pictures, drag in some video, throw some music behind it, and it takes me a minute, 2 minutes to create this little quick video and throw it out there, and it's all content I already have. I didn't have to spend any time making it, so that really helps when you've got, all that stuff available to you. So yeah, if you've got your customers sharing pictures, definitely make sure you reshare them, put them on your stories, whatever you want to do. And then keep those, kind of in a file somewhere where you can pull those out when you need them to be able to create things, for social media. It just makes things a whole lot easier.
Yeah, because you can reuse stuff because people don't know what you posted 3 months ago. They're not even going to see it
Yeah.
again. Very rarely are they going to go back and look at something 3 months ago. So you can just recirculate that, like Andy said. So that's a great way to do it. Keeping your folder separate is awesome. Label it whatever you need to label it to remind what you want to use it for.
Yep.
Name each file in and all that stuff, everything else to keep it organized. Because otherwise, you're going to get lost. You're going to know you're just randomly keeping in your downloads or whatever else, you're going to be lost. I've been
Yeah.
there, by the way,
A
been there.
and
So
I see chefs doing it too. I mean, I
yeah,
have chefs that post the same picture every couple weeks,
yep,
and it's just the same exact one with our microgreens on it. And I'm like, hey, I know that one. I know it because I see it all the time and I'm looking
yeah,
for it. But their customers probably have no clue. They're like, oh, look at that beautiful pizza with microgreens all over it
yeah,
or whatever. They don't know any better.
nope.
So it's not just us reusing images and things like that.
Everybody does.
Yep.
Everybody does. Um, Another way you can market your business is email marketing. This is probably going to be something that doesn't get a lot of responses, but you can get your customers that you're already buying from you, and you can send out reminders of them of stuff. Hey, when you have a special or you have extra products, stuff like that. When you have a new product that's going to come out, put that on there. You can send out your blog posts. You can send out special offers, events you're going to be at. Say you're going to an expo. Hey, come check us out at this expo. Blah blah blah. There. Best way to get emails is at a farmer's market. Say, hey, do you want to know more information about microgreens when we come out, new stuff and everything else? Set up an email list there. You can do that. Hopefully, people give you the right email address. Probably 50% that they're going to give them something for giving your email address to you, like a little sample of something or something like that, for giving the email address, so they're getting something for it. And then you can use that for email marketing, targeting to them, and get that out there. You can send them recipe cards. You can send them stuff how to use microgreens, and then that way you don't have to pay for a flyer to send to your customers all the time when you're delivering microgreens. It can just be in an email that you can send out to them every couple of weeks, which saves you money, saves you ink, saves you paper, saves you time of doing it. And you can just send out an email. And there's ways of scheduling all this stuff too. Emails, social media stuff. You don't have to sit down and do something every day. You can schedule it all out. Emails and everything else, set down once a week and do all that and everything else. So, have you used emails at all to reach your customers, Andy?
Yeah, not very often. I mean, it's more like when we have a major promotion or if we do like a sale or something like that, we'll post it out there on an email list. But for the most part, I mean, an important piece beyond just having a sign up there at the farmer's market or whatever, make sure you have it on your website. I mean, like we have tons of people. It's crazy. I send out probably 3 or 4 emails a year. I'm awful with the email marketing, but that's the one nice thing about it is you don't have to worry about doing it all the time because people don't want to get emailed all the time.
Yep.
So you can get away with doing that as often as you feel. Obviously the more times the better. But I have tons of people that sign up for that email list every single day. It's unbelievable. Every time I log in because we use Mailchimp, which ties in really well with Square, by the way. So if you're using Square, create a Mailchimp account. They're free. I think up to thousands of users, I'm pretty sure that you can have in there for nothing. And it ties really nice into Square. So when they sign up on our website, it just goes right into Square's, goes through Square's system and into Mailchimp and puts them in there. So
Yep.
what I've found at least is if you try and do a salesy related email, the open rates are super low. Whereas like I was talking about last week, we sent out one related to recipes. Open rate was huge.
Yep.
So it's really just a matter of giving them good content. Again, it's not going to be a sales driven thing. It's going to be a lot more, kind of starting out with something and then maybe lead into sales. But we found that like running promotions and stuff where they knew they were getting some kind of a deal definitely helped. But if we were just like, hey, we added cantaloupe, do you want to add this to your order or whatever, it was, didn't get much of a response out of that. So I would say out of all the marketing techniques you've got, this is probably going to be the lowest on the totem
Yeah.
pole, as far as actually getting good response and having it lead to purchases. But as long as you give them good content in the emails, you'll find that they will get opened.
Yeah.
And I know like Josh, for example, if you're not on his email list for Greener Harvest Seeds, his emails are phenomenal. I mean, it's like every single one was written so well. I find myself reading them, which is crazy. So, just another, use Josh as an example to look at to see, really good quality content and things like that. But yeah, I'm terrible with all that stuff with email, especially.
Yeah, I'm
I need
pretty
to
sure
get
that
better at it, but
emails from Josh are actually probably from Mandy, but I don't know that for sure. It could be Josh, but
yeah,
pretty sure they're Mandy.
actually, it might be one of his people that work for him. I
Yeah, it
think
could be that
I'm
too.
pretty
He does
sure.
have employees.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. Yep.
yeah. So yeah, it could be that. But they are great. So yeah, get on that email
Yeah.
list from Josh because they give you a lot of great information. Even if you're trying to sell microgreens, you can kind of use that same information and put it in your own words and resend that out as your email. So um,
Yep.
people steal stuff all the time. So don't fret about stealing something. It's literally the internet. You steal everything. Like nothing we're doing is new. Nothing you're doing in life is new. It's all been done before. So don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
Just ask the lady from Harvard.
Yeah. Don't plagiarize now. Like make
Yeah.
it your own. but use the information you're given to make something.
Yep.
She no longer at Harvard, I don't think, right?
Yeah, no, she got let go. Yeah. And then I guess there was another guy that was in there too that also got caught plagiarizing that used to support her. So I was like, "Oh
Wow.
my gosh."
It was rampant,
Good times. Yeah,
rampant.
they can. Nobody checks on it. That's all it
Nope.
takes.
Yep. All right. So that's all the kind of like the free-ish stuff you can do. Your social media is free. Your emails can be free to send out, depending on if you want to pay for a service and everything else. You might want to look at also paid advertisement to add in there, just a few dollars. We spent paid advertisement in the beginning when we growed our business and we were going after home deliveries. Obviously, we pay for a lot of paid advertisement out there to get it pushed and everything else. Or because when you're new, nobody knows you, so you got to get it out in front of them. You got to get pay for some ads to get it out there. Ads don't cost that much. You can just spend what you can spend. You can get it out there. You can set that spending limit and everything else. So utilizing social media as advertisements to reach people like Facebook is really good, probably for demographics that has that spendable income, like Andy was talking about. Instagram's a little bit younger audience, but you can still hit that. And Facebook and Instagram are the same, so you can advertise the same way, same thing. You can put it all in one thing now and advertise on both. So it's really good for that. So knowing your demographic, knowing your target, what social media platforms you want to spend your money on and use it for is highly key. You could use YouTube and you could do some videos and stuff like that, but I would recommend, and what we use was Facebook and Instagram. Instagram was mainly to go after chefs, so we were advertising for that. Facebook, we were kind of advertising more for home deliveries and to get our name out there so people knew who we were when they show up to farmers market too. So they had some visual aspects already from you and out there and everything else. I think it really helped us launch the business and get going and everything else. So I highly do recommend paid ads, but mix in that with your free ads, with your free stuff, your free social media, mix in the paid and everything else. Andy, I'm pretty sure you probably paid for ads as well, or are still maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, and the nice thing is, I mean, a lot of people are probably if you've never done it before, you may be thinking, "Oh my god, it's gonna cost me hundreds of dollars to advertise on Facebook." It's absolutely not the case. I
No.
mean, you literally can go on there and say, "I have $5 to spend and I want you to advertise for the next week." I mean, it really there's you literally set the budget and the amount of time. Obviously, the more money you spend, the more eyes are gonna be on the stuff that you're trying to advertise, so keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And I know I've talked about this before, like, when we get a new grocery store, we literally spend $200 in Facebook advertising, which sounds like a lot, but it runs for 2 months. So for 2 whole months, every single day, they're literally pushing the algorithm and changing it to hit the people that actually are interested
Yeah.
in seeing that ad, which is cool. So it's worked really well for us to get into a grocery store and maintain business almost right away. But at the same time, and for the most part, like when we had the shop or the farmer's market in our front yard, we would spend like $5, $10, at the most to advertise to get people to come. So I mean, you sell 2 packs and it's paid for, and then everybody after that, there always was plenty of people that came, and we had to get people to come all the way to our house. It's 5 miles from anything, and all we had was microgreens. So it definitely was worth spending $10 every week to get hundreds of dollars worth of sales every single time. And it also allowed us to really build, our audience on our page really quickly. Before we were even involved with all this, and anybody even knew who we were as a farm, we were already at 3,000 likes on our Facebook page in about a year and a half. And it was just because we were constantly pushing it out there and making new content every single day, and posting to other local social media groups, that were like geared around the city that we're in, local cities, the county that we're in, local counties. We would just post stuff, and I would take video of myself saying, "Hey, it's Andy. I'm out here out front today," and whatever. And it was great. And it was just an easy way for them to connect with us personally, but also through the business. So it worked out good.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. It works. Paid advertising works, and you can set your budget to what you want, so it won't go over that and everything else. It's very good in there. Again, we are going to be going all over all this in our course. We got the marketing thing coming up, so going to be diving into that well too. So you can check that out. But you can also use Google Ads to advertise too. This so not just social medias, Facebook, Instagram. You can get it out on Google. So if somebody's searching for microgreens in my area, microgreens wherever in Springfield, microgreens in Maryland, wherever, you can show up on that search. So you can pay them as well. And that's good to get your stuff going and everything else, because where's people going to go? Most likely Google our webpage when they're looking for something. So that's good to get out there. Um, the Facebook and Instagram will kind of show up in Google, but obviously if you pay Google, they're going to push your stuff more. If somebody's searching for it over somebody else that's not. So consider Google ads as well. They're not that expensive either. You know, you can set your budget, you can
Yeah.
do all that stuff the same way. So very cheap. Have you tried Google ads at all, Andy?
Yeah, we have just really light. I don't even
Yeah.
know what we have running at the moment, but it's not much. It's so hard to keep track of it all. Once you get it up and running, it's just kind
Yep.
of like you forget about it.
Yep.
But I mean, really, the goal is just like if somebody's searching for microgreens in your area, you would obviously want your stuff showing up high, especially if you have a lot of competition. You know, when we first started, we didn't. Now we have local people that are definitely they're not, they're not quite there yet, but they could eventually get there and actually be true competition with us. I mean, we do technically have one guy who's getting pretty big, and he's usually in this podcast. He definitely knows who he is, and I definitely know who he is, and we get along great. And I've coached him, which is cool. So we're trying to take over the state of Maryland. That's kind of our goal ultimately.
Right on.
So, he's got definitely separate coverage for me, but it works out good. So we're like, that's where the Google stuff comes in handy, is you're trying to get people to actually like just find you, and it'll
Yep.
push your listing up towards the top, or you'll be listed on the right hand side as a sponsor or whatever. But that's really the goal, and it's not that expensive. I mean, like
Yep.
Mike said, you set your budget, they take care of it from there. They know not everybody has $10,000 a week or whatever spent on advertising. They'll take your $1 a week, they don't care.
They'll take any money you're willing to give them. That's for sure.
Yep.
Another way you can advertise and get into stuff is influencing, partnership with somebody, with bloggers that align with your values. And it doesn't have to be like another microgreen person. It could be somebody who is doing like healthy eating and are working out or something like that. And they're really in your area and they're pushing that kind of stuff. You can partner with them and they can be like, hey, if you're trying to work out and eat right, you can, add microgreens into your diet. They're not going to add any calories. Da, 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 da. They can go in that. These are so good for you. You can partner with them, pay them a little bit of money, give them free products, whatever you need to do. A lot of times you give them free products and they're going to advertise for you while they're talking about that other stuff, because it adds more value to them too. If they are talking about other products and they're bringing products to their consumers, to their people that are watching them. So you definitely partner with somebody like that. Like, we try to partner with like a Fed Kitchen here was doing something like that, but sometimes they can be difficult to get in and they take some work to finesse them some more. So you got to take time. And we got so busy we didn't do it, but we're trying to work with a food company that is it's called Just Right Eating. So we're trying to partner with them and maybe add microgreens into their repertoire, basically make them a wholesaler where they can just resell our products and people can order, so we know what they're wanting and everything else. So it doesn't have to be grocery stores, it has to be stuff like that. It can be something like that you're partnered with, and then they're going to push your product and they're going to get your name out there. So that's kind of a partnership thing. So you can do a lot of partnership stuff as well. Andy, have you done any partnership stuff?
Not yet, but it's on
Yep.
my list. And really, what that's ultimately called is an ambassador. They're basically becoming what's called an ambassador for your product. And it can be paid if you can find somebody that's willing to do that, obviously. But there's potential you might be able to find somebody that might do it for free. If you have a friend that's doing something along those lines, they might be willing to help you out in exchange for you kind of
Yep.
pushing. Let's say they had a gym or something, and they were
Exactly.
posting about your stuff that they were giving to their gym clients. You could post about their gym and the fact that they've got your stuff in their space. So there's potential. Like I used to work for radio stations, so I've thought about approaching some of the DJs that I know as personal friends. They wouldn't do it for free because they're obviously on the air and they'd have to charge for it, but
Yeah.
it might be worth trying to do something like that, or even just on their social media pages, which have a lot of followers. They have that potential as well. So yeah, just think outside the box. It's definitely good. And you can literally just post on Facebook and just say, hey, we're looking to grow. Is anybody interested in becoming an ambassador for us? And then you just kind of go down that road and see what kind of following they've got. And if they've got a decent following, it may be worth pursuing.
Yep.
If they've got like, 5 people that watch their Facebook page on a regular basis, probably won't be worth your time.
Yeah. Don't do that.
But yeah, ambassadorship's definitely a good thing if you can make it work.
Two things about radio stations. One, a few weeks ago, I found out Andy worked at a radio station, which kind of blew me away. So that was something new that I found out. Two, might be able to give them like free coupons people can get to get $20 worth of your products, and they can use that coupon to get it. And they'll do free advertising basically for you. You're just giving away the product, and they'll give you like $10 worth of advertising for that $20. Stuff like that I've done in the past with restaurants and stuff. We've done that. It may work with this realm too, but it's something to pursue to where it's no money out of your pocket, but they're talking about your products or advertising you on there, and then you're getting basically free advertisement So check that out. You might, if you want to do that, it's a very good realm to do. It worked very good in the restaurant industry. The restaurant I worked for was a co-owner of that I left. They still do that today. I set that up. They still doing $40 coupons and getting $20 advertisement today. So it's obviously working for them because otherwise they wouldn't continue doing it. So you can check out stuff like that. There's some, be inventive. Don't have to spend money to advertise. You can
Yeah.
find ways to go around about it. Just ask the radio station, ask whoever, hey, would you be willing to do this? You never know if they're gonna say yes if you don't ask. So
Yep. And the funny thing is, while actually worked at that radio station, I built a website for them that did exactly this.
no, nice.
Literally did exactly this, to where they would sell, coupons or whatever on their
Yep.
website for half the price of what it actually was, and they would get mentions on air. It wouldn't cost any money out of pocket. Obviously, if nobody ever shows up, it doesn't cost you literally anything,
Yeah.
to turn in their coupon and claim it. But it was kind of a neat, way to, because that was what radio was struggling, is they couldn't, they were trying to find smaller businesses that couldn't afford major advertising, and this was an easy way to get them through the door because it literally cost them nothing out of pocket.
Yeah.
So it was a beautiful thing to actually get that set up. But yeah, there's probably other systems out there like that, that are running. So yeah, take advantage of that kind of stuff. You never know.
Yep. All right. So now you got all your social, you got all that stuff going, you got all the advertisement going, and you eventually you probably won't look at as close as Andy or we don't as much as we probably should, but you want to look at your analytics. Highly important in the beginning of starting to do all this stuff, and then you adapt. Like I said, 90 days and then adapt. So check their analytics. Don't get crazy on them after 30 days or 60 days. Take 90 days and really look at them. You can look at them 60 days if there's absolutely nobody looking at them. Maybe you want to change, but don't go crazy and be like, oh, nobody's really looking at it. Just keep doing it. Keep going at it for 90 days and see what it looks at. So you can look at your analytics, Google Analytics, your social media stuff all has analytics on them. You can dive into that, see what website traffic you're getting, where it's coming from. You can dive really deep into analytics. I mean, you can go really, really crazy on it. You can go by age, you can bunch stuff. A little bit of that's probably stopped now because of some laws, so you can't really target ages and income, but there's ways around it. But you can really dive in your analytics and find out what's working, what's not working, and change it after that initial 90 days and find out what works. I'm sure you did that in the beginning, Andy, right?
Yeah, yeah, and to a certain extent, we lightly do it a little bit here and there, just to see, like, for example, I'm fairly new to YouTube. Really, only started messing with it in the last few months. I posted a couple videos. One of them's doing really well, where the others are just kind of slowly, working their way through, which is fine.
Yep.
I'm not proactively posting to it, so I don't expect a whole lot. But it's neat to be able to go back and like see, with YouTube specifically, you can literally see the exact second, when people start coming on or dropping off, and how
Yep.
far they watched, what their average watch time was. I mean, it really dives deep. How many subscriptions you've got, as a result of just that one video. I mean, it's all of these things are available, but at minimum, at least make sure you've got a Google Analytics account set up and that your website has that connected to it. Again, with Square, it's really easy to do. There's a bunch of other ones out there. I'm sure it's just as easy. But yeah, it's definitely, even if you never plan on looking at it, at least it's there if you ever decide to. Because if you go, you know what, I really need to get into analytics, and you've got 5 years of your website being online, you have zero data, then you're starting completely from scratch at that point
Yep.
going forward. You have no clue what your website's been doing this entire time. Uh, like, for example, it's really crazy because one of the products we used to sell in our shop was just on Shark Tank like 2 weeks ago.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden, I got this email from Google, and it's like, this one page is getting destroyed on your website. I'm like, why is the it's called Meet the Mushroom, awesome company. Um, all of a sudden, it was getting all these crazy amounts of hits. I had no clue why. And then like a week later, I see they're on Shark Tank. There was somebody had shared the video of them being on there. So that's why, like, people were looking for that product, even though that page on my website is hidden. They were still finding it because it was linked through Google when we had it on there the first time. So all these people were hitting that site, searching for Meet the Mushroom. So it was kind of crazy how that blew up. But if I didn't have the analytics, I would have never known. So you may find that, like, let's say some major news station did a story on broccoli or something, and all of a sudden broccoli's getting crushed on your website, but you have no idea because you're not checking the analytics. You could be missing out on a huge opportunity to try and land a bunch of sales. So
Yeah.
it's important to keep an eye on them when you can. It is definitely time consuming, and it can be a rabbit hole if you decide to go down that. But like Mike said, whatever you do, give it time. If you're on a diet, for example, you're not going to check how much you weigh 6 times a day. It's not worth it. Give it a week and then find out how much weight you lost. Give it a month and find out how much weight you lost. Otherwise you're just going to be like, oh my God, I only lost 0.1 pounds since yesterday. Well, yeah, because it's only been one freaking day.
Yeah, don't weigh yourself
So,
every day if you're
yeah.
on a diet.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not. So, give whatever you do some time, see how it goes, make changes to the site, make changes to your navigation process, and see how it meshes with your customers. And if you find it slows things down, or that you find you've got a lot of people adding things to their shopping cart and then they abandon their cart and they leave, those are the kinds of things you need to know, because there's tools you can use to catch those people after they've left. Say, hey, I see you added some things to your cart. Send them an email. Say, here, if you decide to continue with your purchase, you get 10% off. Here's a
Yep.
coupon. And you have that chance of pulling them back in. They've already got everything in their cart. They already know everything about all the products. All they have to do is check out, so give that an incentive. And there's tools like that in a lot of the website building systems that are out there, like Square and stuff like that. So, take advantage of that. But again, without those analytics, you have no clue where people are starting and stopping in their purchase process. So it's definitely important to have. Even if you don't want to look at it, at least set it up.
Yes, have it there because you will want to look at it. You're going to
Yeah.
find out you're going to want to look at it, even if you don't think you're going to. You will. You'll want to look at it.
Yep.
All right. Before we get off here, we probably want to go ahead and thank our Harvest members and everybody else. We thank everybody that's a member of this channel, but we also want to thank the Harvest members, especially that are all up here scrolling. Our newest member, Jason Humphrey. Some of this stuff probably been a month now. We'll update this as we go along, but we want to thank these Harvest members especially and bring them up at that level. But we thank every member of this channel, and by implementing these digital strategies in your microgreen business, you can effectively reach and engage a wider audience, brand building awareness, and drive sales. The key is consistent, authentic, and always focus on providing value to your potential customers. And we will see you in the next one. All righty. Little bit of a special announcement here. Andy has something special going on next week. I have something special going on next week that I could possibly make it right at the time for the podcast at 6 o'clock, but it'd be close. So we've decided, we talked earlier, this would skip next week because we don't want to make it a rush podcast. We want to give you guys good quality content. So we will skip next week. So check it out. 2 weeks from now, we'll be live back again. And we will get into the live Q&A. Hopefully we got a lot of good questions to answer after this quick ad.
Elevate your microgreens operation with personalized one-on-one business coaching. Our recorded sessions meet you right where you are as we dive deep into sales, marketing, and everything in between, saving you months, if not years, of time. We can teach you how to sell to chefs, grocery stores, farmers market attendees, weekly subscribers, and distributors. We can also grow with you and help you scale up, expand into commercial space, and hire quality employees. Invest in your future and build a thriving microgreens business, not just a green thumb. Book a time with me today and let's unlock the full potential of your microgreens business.
Awesome. Make sure you guys check that out. It's a very, very good thing, and Andy does a very good job. So check his coaching out.
Yep, that's where you get to hear my radio voice.
Radio voice Andy is coming in. Man, who's that handsome? Wait a minute. You said that to yourself. Wait a minute.
I couldn't tell it was me.
Awesome. All right, guys.
Nobody agreed with me.
Nobody yet. Give them time. Maybe they're behind.
All I got was a boo from Dan.
Dan, boo. I just got about. Okay. So, guys, if you don't have any questions, make sure you get them in once we're done with the Q&A. We also will do the giveaway as always. So make sure you put in hashtag Thumbcast. Don't have anything with it. Just put in hashtag Thumbcast to make sure it goes through right. I seen a comment earlier that had something after it. I don't know if that would go through or not. So just make sure you put hashtag Thumbcast just by itself.
Just in case.
Yes. I don't want you to not be entered for any weird reason. So
yeah.
I don't control that. It's all the program. So all right. Yeah.
Dan wanted to add, I've been working on my setup all day, cleaning everything and almost ready to start growing again finally. Super excited about that.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, Dan and I had a good conversation the other day. I was excited he was getting back into it.
Yes, very excited Dan's getting back into it.
Well, luckily his
Good
boo
mic.
was the fact that we're not going to be doing it next week, and it wasn't the fact that my face was on the screen.
Yes.
So I'm happy to hear that, Dan. I appreciate you correcting that.
Dan's been very good about in our community. He's part of our coaching program. So
Yep.
happy to have him there and happy to help them get started again.
Yes.
He did your lifetime, right?
Yes, he did.
Nice.
He is in for
That's
life.
awesome.
Hoffman's Choice says, I did my first Facebook ad this week and had amazing engagement.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Good job.
Nice.
Keep it going. Keep posting. Keep that
Yep,
momentum
that's
going.
it.
All right. Facebook user is Julie. So she says, for a marketing standpoint, how do you feel about naming the type of micros on the labels like radical radish, beefed up broccoli, baby got beets, or sunny sunflower? Or is this a bad
I
idea?
love Baby Got Beats.
Yeah.
Baby got beets.
I'm all for that. You know, make creative names,
Yeah.
get people talking about your products and all that. For sure. We come up with our mixes. We got names for every one of our mixes and stuff. So
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, and Joe certainly, who I know is on here, at least he was on here earlier. All of his mixes, every single one is named something unique to his particular area of the country, which is kind of neat. So yeah, definitely be creative with it. It certainly won't hurt as long as people still know what they're getting. Even if you have the name really big and then you got underneath, contains radish and broccoli and whatever, then that's important because they need to know what's in it. But yeah, definitely don't hesitate to use cool names. Definitely a fun thing.
For sure.
Yep. So there you go.
Here, Joe. Yeah. Haven't had great reception with the names I have on mine. But yeah, they're cool.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely works out good.
Awesome, Joe. Had great reception. So that's good. Yep. Crazy names can make people laugh. And if they didn't laugh, they might buy.
For sure. Miguel says, question, I'm looking to add wheatgrass 5x5s. What is the cost of a plastic tray? I'm adding the cost per tray, but I don't know the average price a tray should cost.
Top of my head, Jess, do you know what it is for our 5x5s?
I was going to say, this is definitely you guys' world.
We were at like 29 cents when we were buying them from True Leaf, but I know we're like about half that price now.
Yeah, I would say good average number to use is somewhere between 20 to 25 cents for the 5x5, which is less than you pay for a package. So it's very, very good. And you don't have to you don't have to cut anything. You don't have to pack anything. You just sell the 5x5. So it's very profitable in that fact that you don't have to pay for packaging. You don't have to pay for harvesting, all that stuff. So.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, the packaging is almost 50 cents a piece now.
Yep. Yeah, it's getting crazy. So the 5x5s are great like that. And we just had another grocery store that just doubled their order for wheatgrass for next week. So that was awesome.
Nice.
So they moved them to a different section and they sold out within like 2 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I like growing wheatgrass. It's easy.
Yes. And fast.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm not familiar with MailChimp, super familiar with them at least. But DeSanto Farms asked, how do you know if an email's been opened when you send it out? I know system that we use, we can see all the stats. Is MailChimp similar?
Yeah, it shows you like the open rate. It shows you even breaks down to all of the links that are actually in your email. So let's say, for example, you're writing an email that was a promotion and you had like links at the top and then links further down the page and everything was driving them to the same thing. They can literally tell you which link that person actually clicked on in the email. So you can say like, okay, even though I was mentioning things up here to sign up, it's way down here is where they actually clicked. Well, why? Then you can look at that content and think, okay, maybe they clicked because it was more obvious or whatever. So it really breaks down a lot of different things. It'll also, I believe, tell you how many unsubscribes you got as a result of an email. So if you send out one that a lot of people are like, oh, this is annoying, unsubscribe, you probably don't want to go down that road again. So it gives you a lot of cool details. And the nice thing is it's free. That's what I love about MailChimp. It's really easy to use. You can create email templates really quickly and send them out there and then copy those templates over to create other emails really fast. Nice. And I think it's free to like several thousand users, which is a long time before you're going to get to that point. So it definitely works out good to be able to use it for nothing. So, yep.
Free's good. I like
got a lot of good stats. Yeah.
Free and it works well, even better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely a nice plus.
DeSanto Farms, when starting out, what would you recommend for days to sow seeds on?
That depends on when you're going to deliver. When's your
Yeah.
delivery date?
Yes. Start with your delivery date if you're going to harvest the same day or if you're going to harvest the previous day. Those are all things that you basically when you're dealing with microgreens, you have to start at the point when they're going to receive the product and work your way back.
Yep.
That's really how it has to be done. And obviously, if you've got plants that grow for different amounts of time, you got to do those calculations to make sure you're hitting those days on the correct time. Like, I mean, we plant 5 days a week, I think, at this point, because we've got things that grow for 7 days, 8 days, 10 days, 14 days, 21 days, 28 days, 35 days. So there's all these crazy days, and we harvest 2 days a week and deliver 2 days a week. So it's a little insane, but we make it work. That's
Yeah,
what
we
farm
have.
flow is for. And I know you're in there.
I was just going to say that. Farm flow, put it in there, how long it's going to grow. If you need to have a day before, which most of us probably want to harvest the day before, just because we're not going
Yeah.
to have time to harvest and deliver the same day. It works great. It just backs it up for you. And then as long as you put the right information in there, it's going to work perfectly for you. So it's all geared on that. And if you need more help on that, we can obviously help on that overall on our school accounts. DeSantos, we can help you out, set up farm flow and figure all that out if you need help.
Yep. Or you can reach out to me. Obviously, Dan, you and I talk quite a bit. So
Or
let me
that.
know if you have any questions.
Or go straight to the man, whichever.
Yeah, I mean, I have been using it for 4 years.
I didn't want to offer that,
And I wrote it.
in case you didn't want to. So
I appreciate that. Yeah, if anybody needs any help with farm flow, just go to Mike.
And he will direct you to Andy.
No, I can help him out.
Yeah. His salad mixes are interesting. Miner's micro salad mix, Smoke Jumper's
Nice.
spicy mix, Going to the sunflower shoots, Elkhorn PK peak shoots. Oh, Elkhorn Peak. I like it. Took me a second to get that.
Elkhorn Peak.
Peak shoots. Very cool. Love it. Jennifer
it's all
asks,
named after stuff that's local to him.
Yeah.
Which makes
And
it even
that's
more
the way
cool.
people connect to it, right? If it's a local name.
Jennifer says, can you review regulations on selling live small cups and personal trays? It's become very popular with big growers. I love the idea for subscribers, but would you know the live product regulations?
Every area is going to be different.
Yeah.
But if you're selling live products, you have to have a
nursery
license. So need to check on that. You might need to have a nursery license if you're doing that. So it might be something else you have to do. So check with your area. You might have to have that. I know here, if we sell live stuff that's not wheatgrass, kind of skirts around it a little bit. But if we sell like live broccoli, live like that, we were told we probably would have to get a nursery license. So we stopped kind of offering that at the market because we were doing like little 5x5s that they would return the plastic thing to us, get $1 back thing. But so we didn't want anybody to come by and hitting us on any fees or anything that would be from that, because it wasn't like we were making a ton more by doing that. It's just saved on harvesting. But check your local area.
Yeah, I would say talk to the health department and or the Department of Agriculture and see what you can do. I mean, don't take them for their word.
Yeah.
make them prove it to you, through some kind of paper, because they're probably not going to know either. Unfortunately, that's the worst part. And that may be why you might want to start with the Department of Ag and find out exactly what you need to ask the Department of Health, because the Department of Health usually is way more clueless than the Department of Ag.
Yes. I was going to say, I had a couple guys that were in here today that we were talking to, and their health department said they fall underneath them and all that. And I told them, well, you don't. You're a 1 cup produce. So you don't fall, even in Missouri. I know this. You don't fall underneath that. You need to go back to the health department and say, can you show me in your bylaws or in your paperwork or any rules that you have that says microgreens fall underneath your health department rules and we have to follow all this stuff and everything else, because they're trying to do some crazy stuff with them. Go back at them and say, prove it to me. Show me that I fall underneath this. Why do I fall underneath this? Because I'm 99% sure, because they don't have microgreens around that area at all. That health departments never came a part of that, never thought about that, never done anything with it. That they don't fall underneath that they do not fall underneath health department. They fall under 1 cup produce. So we gave them a lot of good tips of going back and telling the health department what they need to do and everything else, so they can fall underneath the right thing. Like the health department in the 640 square foot building they have, we're telling them they needed a sink at either end of the building, hand sink, which is wrong. They don't.
Wow.
Not even if in a restaurant, at a 600 square foot, you wouldn't need two
Yeah.
hand sinks. So
Oh
I
my
told him, no,
gosh.
that's wrong. Although they've already installed them, so I feel bad for them that they had to go to
Oh
that expense
man.
and pay for them and everything else. Um, so we're working with them and trying to get them back on the right track because they may have been following too much of the support group person, and listening too much to that also. So we're trying to get them back on the right track. So
Yeah, I literally had one of my very regular coaching, users reach out to me this past week, and they're in Maryland, and they were told, by their local health department or whatever, they're like, "Oh no, you can't do this. You have to do this and this and this." I was like, "Oh, they're absolutely wrong." I was like,
you're wrong.
"Have them call me because I'll happily correct them because I'm obviously in the same state and I don't need any of that crap."
Yeah, yeah,
So
don't want
luckily
that.
they were able to go back to them and push back, and they finally, realize, "Oh wait, we're wrong. You're right. Here's your stuff, and you're good." So like I said, don't ever take the government for their word. Make them show you why it's the case. And like I said, start with the Department of Ag. They're going to give you the right questions and the right information, to ask about when you talk to the health department. For the most part, the health department is usually hands off, but Jen, in your case, for this, they might be hands on. So just be ready for that just in case.
Yep. It gets into some other muddy waters when doing that, and so just be careful. um so yeah, it could get you, might get you in trouble, might not. I do a lot of things and then ask for forgiveness later. So you know but that's my personal thing. I'm not suggesting you do that.
Breaking the law. No. Half the time you're not. That's a sad thing.
Yeah.
They just think you are.
Yeah.
I don't have any more questions, guys. Make sure we get our
Well,
hashtag thumbcasts in here,
yes.
though. I don't have, I've got 18 currently watching and like 15. I don't know. Let's see how many we've got for this giveaway.
19,
Only
yep.
11.
11 only given
Only
away.
11 in the
Who
thumbcast
does not
giveaway.
want free stuff? Raise your hand. Let's do a
Yeah, come
poll. Who
on,
doesn't
man.
like free stuff? See how
I
many
hate
people
free
vote for
stuff.
that. I hate free stuff. I don't want your free stuff. Uh, so yeah, make sure you get that in, guys. We'll be doing that, but definitely check with your, like we were just talking about. Make sure you go back at people just because they think that the health department hires people at like $16, $17 an hour to come in to
Yeah.
be health inspectors. So
And you
may
also have
not
to
be the
remember
smartest
that
people.
it's very hard to get fired by the government. So
Yes.
keep that in mind too.
Yes.
You can be really bad at your job and still keep your job,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So, and I've seen it. I mean, our local health department guy is pretty terrible. And it's kind of frightening that he manages all these restaurants that are around here that could be doing God knows what, and he's not even noticing any of it. So it's really aggravating. We had a heck of a time with that guy. So, and Dan, I saw your post about farm flow refresher classes. If you log in, just go to the getting started guide page. There's about an hour and a half video or so I posted up there that kind of goes through everything you need to do to get everything set up in heavy detail. That's why it's so long. So definitely feel free to go back and watch that. You can skip through sections obviously really quickly, but it goes into really good detail to get everything set up right off the bat. All the stuff that you need to at least start using it completely. Everything else beyond that is like tasks and inventory management, stuff like that. You can do that anytime. But yeah, it's your best bet.
Yeah, I was talking to Dan
Or just
earlier.
reach out to Mike.
Yeah, or reach out to me. I was talking to Dan earlier. He on our live we were doing with our planting of lettuce and stuff and the flowers. He was on there, and he was talking about he just goes to the ocean over there and gets his seaweed fertilizer and cleans it out, winches it, gets the salt water out of it and everything else, and that's what he's using for fertilizer. So that's pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
Had to call about 8 different states offices to make sure that was doing it legally. Yeah, sounds
Oh
about
yeah,
right.
I bet.
Only 8.
I bet. Yeah. Surprised it wasn't more. Surprised they even knew.
I bet that's amazing
Like,
fertilizer, though.
oh yeah, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
But I also can't imagine how many people got off the phone with you, Dan, and were like, "Is this guy
What?
for real?
What?
Is he really gonna do this?"
He's not gonna really gonna do this,
Yeah.
is he?
I
They're probably
guarantee
talking
you were probably the first person in history to call anybody in that entire state to ask about that.
they probably turned to the person in the next cubicle and go, this guy's gonna he's not really gonna do it, is he? I bet that was a conversation around the water tank that day."
Yeah, guaranteed. Wow, 25 pounds. That's amazing.
Wow.
Per day. Yeah, that adds up
Thanks.
real quick.
Yeah. He's also right next to
Tracy, I appreciate
Johnny's
it.
seeds too, like 45 minutes from Johnny's. So
Oh, wow.
he gets his seeds very fast.
Yeah. Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate that. I
And
agree
talking
that
about
Farm Flow
seeds, we
rocks.
finally got we bought some seeds from Haas Tools, and we bought some of their trays. I haven't opened them yet because we just got them today. I'll be doing like a little bit of that of the Haas Tool trays and showing you guys if they're good or bad or whatever else.
Nice.
Hopefully they're good, and maybe Haas Tools maybe wants to sponsor a podcast if you're listening.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be nice.
Yeah,
That'd be real nice.
yeah.
I mean,
Maybe
it's
we'll
not like
switch
we don't
all our
talk
trays.
about Bootstrap all the time.
Yeah, maybe we
All
could
the time, Bootstrap.
bootstrap. No, we don't want to sponsor you. So Haas, if you want to find a podcast that's getting views and views after this, and hey, also Andy, I meant to tell you this earlier. I forgot. Do you know we're in the 1% of podcasters?
Oh, really?
1% of podcasts don't make it past 21, or 99% of podcasts don't make it past 21 episodes,
Wow.
and we're at
Nice.
35. So
Heck yeah. We're just getting started.
congratulations to you.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, you know who makes that possible?
These people.
All of you guys.
These people.
So we appreciate y'all being here every week.
If you're not here, we
That's
wouldn't be
awesome.
here. So
Yeah, literally. I mean, we'd be talking to ourselves. That'd be pretty bum. Because we could talk to ourselves anytime.
yeah, I mean I do.
Be
But
a waste
anyway.
of time. I think those were the ones. Congratulations. Thanks, Tracy.
Yes.
Congrats. Thank you, Kim. Got cantaloupe seeds yet?
Um,
I still have plenty. How
I
about
bought.
all you poor guys?
I bought some cantaloupe seeds, but I can't use them. So
Oh,
they're bad.
lame.
They taste
Aw.
bitter and horrible, and yeah, we got a refund on
Oh,
them though.
I think, yeah.
He made it right.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
made it
I
right.
think I know exactly what you're talking about.
So we're still
Yeah.
waiting on getting some good cantaloupe seeds. Hopefully, we'll get them someday. They're still not back. Andy still has them all.
Andy won't share.
This is where I could pull a microgreen support group move and resell the seed for an absorbent amount of money.
Yeah, like quadruple that price, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, I need them.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're looking to get cantaloupe seed, Hale's Best is the variety that you want. Hale's
They're the
Best
best.
cantaloupe. 100%. They're the ones that taste the best. They're very sweet. There's other varieties out there that aren't going to be nearly as good. Hale's Best is what you want. And unfortunately, the only place I've been able to find those ever, it used to be through Kitazawa, which was a lot cheaper than True Leaf.
Mhm.
Well, then True Leaf bought Kitazawa, and now the price is jacked up to their price. So
Well, you can't even get
Yeah.
them yet. There's not even available right
yeah,
now.
I know it's been
Yeah.
sold out for quite some time, unfortunately. But yeah, Hale's Best is definitely the best one that you want for sure.
Any other questions, guys? We got like 10 minutes. Like these two can talk
Yeah, it's
forever.
crazy.
Don't get me wrong. These guys
We
will
can
talk
for
forever.
real. Yeah. I am not an introverted person in any way, shape, or form. That
Yeah,
is
if you haven't
for
checked out
sure.
Farm Flow yet, guys, check out Farm Flow. I love Farm Flow for the checklist, the to-do list, the back end stuff of doing the checklist to keep you compliance for Gap and stuff like that.
Oh, it's backwards.
Oh, you got to flip that camera, Andy.
Oh well. Yeah,
So
apparently
check
so.
out Farm Flow. It's great for that stuff. So yeah, it's if you're going and you're going to try to get Gap certification, and that Gap class is sold out. So if you didn't get in, sorry, it is sold out. So we got that notification that it is sold out. Maybe we'll get Carol to do another one if you guys aren't in yet. But we do thank Carol a lot for doing that because that's going to be great for all of us. Andy, did you get in?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm in. I'll be there.
All right.
And the funny thing is, I mean, I took I said Farm Flow certification. Maybe someday. I took Gap certification like 4 years ago. And at this point, like at some point they must have sent me a certificate. I have no idea where that certificate is. So I can't even try to get my Gap certification because you have to have the certificate to
Yep.
get it. So I have to retake it just so I can get another certificate and then finally be able to go through the process. But I will say though, what's been cool is at least in this last week from a Fresh Source Farms standpoint, we got our building permit last Thursday, which was fantastic at 3:00 in the morning. Thank you. Yeah, it only took 5.5 months. Thank you, Harford County, County, Maryland government. Nice job, guys.
Under 6 months. Good job.
Yeah, I know. God. So we're starting I think as of yesterday, our drop ceiling frame is in. I ordered my ceiling tiles and got HVAC guys coming out next week to bring the HVAC down to the ceiling, all that fun stuff. So things are finally moving. So again, thank you. Big clap for Hartford County, Maryland government. You guys are fantastic. Uh,
We'll just let that
thanks
rest
for
right there. Like rest
yeah,
right there.
thanks for letting me pay 2 rents for the last 6 months. I really appreciate that a lot.
Really, really
Money I'm never
appreciate
gonna
it.
get back on a space I can't use until
Well,
it's done. So
I think you kind of got to blame your landlord a little bit on that too.
yeah, that's
Not
true.
having the
That's
right
very true.
address and all that stuff and everything else. So
Yeah.
I would.
What a
They're
freaking
not
mess.
totally to blame, but they probably could have sped up a lot faster.
Yeah, they definitely had a good chunk of that for sure. So yeah.
All right. Jennifer says, anybody with thumb issues? I am loving the on the go tabs. Just sharing. You put them on the trays for lifting the trays to the bottom. Those little 3D printed tabs they make. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like the Nosh in bootstrap trays is really good. But
yeah, that's all we use. That's so
Jeff,
much
do you get
easier.
sore thumbs from doing that? Because you're the one that waters all the time.
I don't have fingernails, so I just pinch things with my chubby little fingers. I just
Yeah.
pinch.
I usually just kind of like rub my thumb up against the between the two and I can usually pick it right up without an issue. So
Yeah.
it's not too bad, but
But
yeah.
hey, if that's what if you use them and that's better for you, good. Yeah, go for it.
Yep. Yep. Yeah,
It's
nothing
nice
wrong with that, man.
somebody's
Whatever makes
made a
life easier.
product that can be useful to people. So that is good by On the Grow.
Yep. Yeah.
What spacing do you use for your aisles? Are you talking like the aisles between racks?
I'm assuming that's what they're talking about.
I would guess, yeah.
Enough room to walk down.
Yeah. Yeah. We try and keep ours at like between 2.5 feet to 3 feet.
Yeah.
Mainly because if we've got two people going up and down the aisle at the same time, which happens a lot, especially when we're taking things out of blackout and we have massive amounts of trays we're moving in bulk.
Yeah.
There's oftentimes, two people walking down with two trays. And if your shelving spacing isn't big enough, then you've got somebody walking down handing trays to somebody else that then has to turn around and put them on the shelf. It's just, the more times trays get picked up or handed to somebody else, the more chances there are of them being dropped. So we make sure we have enough space to be able to get up and down throughout there, with two people going by each other. It's not ideal for, use of space, but for efficiency purposes when that kind of thing is happening, because oftentimes even when we're harvesting, there's people going up and down the same aisle to grab different plants because we've got kind of different sections for each week, as we go through the process. So that's why we do it. It's definitely not something you have to do. When we were in our house, our spacing was literally wide enough for me to walk down. I could grab a tray and then I literally had to back out because I didn't even have enough room to turn around. That was
We
not
were there.
enjoyable. So yeah.
Yeah, been there.
So I would say probably 2 feet at least. Just give yourself that space. It's just a comfort thing. If you have to cram everything like you guys used to have to do in your garage, so be it. But ideally, until you have to get to that point, at least give yourself a little bit of room. If everything's on wheels, it's really easy to move around. So that's the one nice thing too.
Yep. Same. We were in the same boat as Andy there. Very little space when we got to the end of the house. So now we're like almost, I think we're right at 3 feet in between just because we do have the space right now. If we ever fill it up and we get big distributors going and we have to squish stuff in, would probably go to 30 inches is the least amount I would go to between the racks for walking space. Other than that, 36 is right now just for comfort because we have the space. So literally Jess could be over watering on one rack and I could be getting a tray from the other side of that rack in the same aisle and we wouldn't be really hitting each other and we could both walk down it. So
yeah. Once you start getting multiple people involved and you have multiple people doing multiple things at the same time, it definitely makes it nice to have that extra room for sure.
Awesome. Hoffman's Choice. I'm having Sunny's issues. Reputable tiny seed. First time ordering 25 pounds, any large quantity. And I'm unfortunately having small bits that are prone to molding. Might be
what's your seeding
overwatering.
density? That's where I would ask the question first. Seeding density, and then overwatering. Because I've had zero issues with his tiny seeds, getting great yield, no mold issues, great growth. Yeah, so Andy hasn't used them yet, so I guess I'll be the one speaking on that. But
yeah, I bought some. I have 50 pounds waiting. It's just a matter of I'll probably be there in about another month and a half or so. I think we'll finally start running out of my sunflower haul that I had for years. But yeah, I mean, it's with sunflower, it's not uncommon, to get a little bit of mold. That's probably one of the toughest ones to not have mold on. So if you see a little bit, it's not the end of the world. Just hit it with something just to break the colony apart, even if it's just a heavy mist.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to dive right to the H2O2 or the xeritol. Oftentimes that's all we do is we just do a nice heavy mist over anything that has any mold on it, breaks the colony apart, it disappears.
Done. Yeah.
So yeah, it's not anything to be like overly concerned with. I know there's a lot of people that, especially when they first start, they're like in full panic mode. When they see just the teeniest bit of mold, it's not out of the ordinary. Even at, growers our size, there's no way, neither one of us can sit here and tell you we never get mold on any of our trays. It's not possible. So
it's
yeah,
seeds.
it's almost
It's
impossible.
seeds. It's plants.
Yep.
Stuff's going to happen. Usually you can dig
Yeah.
that stuff out. You can, like Andy said, you can hit it with the spray nozzle real fast, knock that colony out on sunflowers, and it's good. And as long as you're harvesting above the soil line, you're going to be okay too. As long as it's not all through the plants or something, crazy.
Yeah.
But, if it's just down on the soil base, you're going to be fine. There's mold in the air, guys. We breathe mold every day.
Yep.
So
every day.
if you're breathing mold.
Unfortunately.
Christina says, do you get a certificate with this GAP class, or is there other classes you need to take? You get the certificate for you as a human.
Yes.
So we would be certified. Andy's going to be certified. Jess will be certified. Anybody who's in that class will be certified. And then once you got that certificate, you can say, hey, I'm ready to be inspected by USDA or whoever does it in your area. And then your farm gets certified at that point. But you can't get certified without having a person certified first.
Yeah. Yep.
How to
that
apply
room will be packed with microgreen growers.
Yeah. Christina wants to know how to apply for a grant. Don't know where to start on that.
Grants.gov.
Yep, grants.gov. And
then have fun looking through them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, it really, like, what we found works really well is try and find out how to get on the email list of your local, like your county's Department of Ag, your state's Department of Ag. They will often send out grant opportunities, that are more locally driven, that you have a way better chance of winning. If you go on to try and apply for like a $500,000 grant, you and everybody on the country is going to be trying for that same grant. Don't get me wrong, it's still worth taking a chance. But if you got a local like $10,000 grant or $5,000 grant, you probably have a much higher chance of winning that. And oftentimes those applications are significantly shorter, so it's way less effort you have to put in. And usually every year the application is going to be the same, so you can just basically copy and paste what you wrote the year before, send it back in. Takes way less time. Those are the grants that we found we won, pretty easily. Joe, who I wish was on this literally live, he's wrote grants for a living for a while, if I'm not mistaken. So he knows probably that process really, really well.
That Joe?
So maybe a one-on-one you might be able to get with Joe. Yeah. So, yep. But yeah, Joe definitely knows that world well.
Binder clips would work also for pulling up trays. That's a thought, Joe.
Yep.
But about grants, like even when they say there's $7.5 million available for the grant, and then they come back and you see how much they're actually giving away, and it's only like $2.5 million. It's like, wonder where the other 5 million went.
Yeah, I wonder.
But that's what's happening with the grant we're doing right now. It's supposed to go to like 50 people at $150,000, which would make it, $7.5 million. And now they're saying that it's only like 20 people that are going to get it.
Yep.
I can do math. That doesn't add up.
Your tax dollars hard at work, people.
Yep.
Okay, we're running out of time, so I'm going to hop on to member questions. Mark Barton asks, how often do you test your water quality? Annual report from the government.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the one nice thing about having county or state, water or whatever, is that it's, they said they have no choice but to test it every year. Then they put out a report that's usually available on their website. If you've got well water, you're probably going to want to find some kind of testing capability to do that on your own, because that is going to be important, especially for GAP and stuff like that. They want to have water testing to show.
Yeah, she's going to go over that a million times, I'm sure, during that class. But there's certain time frames where they have to be tested. Yeah. With municipal, we just have to have a copy of the water report, which is an annual report that is released by our water source, which is actually through our city. So
you mean our water source that's going up by 36%?
36% this month.
Jeez.
Yay!
And 36% next year. Hoffman's Choice says he's going grams per tray soaked, 4 hours, Coco Loco. So maybe overwatering.
Yeah, because that's stay on seeds. It's a little heavier than what we do, but
No, it's 81.
Yeah, it's 80 grams.
80
That's not
grams. So
that's
it's
not
3
much.
ounces.
Yeah.
yeah,
We do
70
142
84, yeah,
grams for
we do 84
comparison.
grams. So we do 84 grams then. So yeah, you're right there. So yeah,
Yeah, we soak for 4 hours, so it's got to be something with overwatering when you're seeding,
yeah.
or just too high humidity in your room, depending on what your humidity is.
And remember, them sunflower seeds are coming straight out of soak. If you're sowing right after soaking, like immediately, you're getting them out, you're draining them, you're soaking them. They got a lot of water in them still. They may not need a big heavy soak like a dry seed would need. So keep that in mind as well.
Right. Yeah, top watering breaks up a lot of the mold.
Yeah.
How long is a certification good for before you have to be inspected? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I don't think it expires.
Your
I mean, I
certification
think you can
doesn't
use it.
expire, but does your
Yeah,
farms?
that's what I mean.
Your farms, I think, is an annual inspection.
It is an annual inspection. So
Yeah.
basically it's good for a year because
Yeah.
obviously they can revoke it the following year if they find you're not doing all the things you're supposed to be doing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, once you get your individual certificate, it's good forever.
Yeah.
But
Unless you
once
lose
you
it.
receive that certificate, it doesn't mean anything until you've actually got audited. So you have to apply, to your local USDA or whatever and say, hey, I'm ready to be GAP certified. Usually it's an online application that you can do through your state. And you just basically say, I'm ready. Usually within a couple of weeks, they'll show up. They'll go through the process. You better make sure you're ready when they show up. Have all your paperwork ready, have everything printed out, whatever you need to present to them. Export all
Makes
your
it
reports
easier.
from Farm Flow. Yeah, have them ready to be emailed, whatever you got to do, and then that way you can show them right off the bat. This is what I've done. This is how organized I am. This is how often I clean. All the record keeping that I do. Yada yada yada. Here's my food safety plan. Here's my SOPs. All that kind of crap. So the irony is the GAP process isn't really that difficult. It's all the paperwork that you have to put together that takes flipping forever.
And Carol
put
said that
together,
the ideal
so.
of this is that 75% of your stuff is going to be written by the time we get done with the class. So
Yeah.
that's going to be amazing that we're going to have that done. It's an 8-hour class. It's going to be annoying to have to sit here for 8 hours and do that class. But if we can get 75% of our farm plan written, I can already call them and say, hey, anytime after the 9th, come and inspect me. I'm ready.
Yeah.
And we can go and get that process started as well. And your personal GAP certification is good forever as long as you don't lose it. So I recommend printing it out and maybe make a copy of it, put it somewhere safe. Just not that anybody would lose it or
like
anything.
what I did. Yeah, like what I did. I'm just taking it the second time as a refresher.
Yes,
That's all.
it. That's it.
Just want to make sure I'm still up on the latest GAP technology. No, don't be an idiot like me. I honestly don't even remember getting a certificate, so I have no clue if they ever even sent me one. So at least I can go through it again. I know it's good. Carol knows me obviously at this point, and I'm like, I wouldn't know her if I didn't take the course. That's the irony. So, but she can't just give me one for the heck of it. So I have no choice but to sign up again.
Yep.
So yeah, don't be an idiot like me. Don't do that. Don't do that. Print it out, frame it. Do whatever you got to do. Make sure you don't lose it.
Joe's suggestion is to talk to your local small business development center. So that's definitely a good option.
Yeah, for grants. I think
choice after hearing about the grants. Man, I've got to become a grant officer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. How do I get that?
Joe definitely has a huge advantage that he's a grant writer. He knows where to find them and he knows how to write them. So Joe's entire business should be self-funded forever.
For sure. Tracy, GAP farm certification is by the hour here. Ooh. They said to count on an hour and a half admin time plus inspection time, $80 an hour.
Wow.
Yikes.
What?
Wow.
No, dude, that can't be right. That can't be right.
Yeah. They guesstimated ours at like $350.
Yeah.
That's what the guesstimate is. They're not sure.
What?
Yeah, the fees went up October of 2023 and doubled.
We live in Illinois, so everything's expensive.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know if we have to pay anything for ours.
The most expensive
I thought it was free.
The most expensive state for government stuff in America is California, and then close behind is Illinois.
Yeah. I mean, because produce safety rule, they don't charge you anything.
Yeah.
They charge literally nothing to have them come out. So that's surprising that GAP actually costs money. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I knew that. Yeah.
I don't know that it does in Maryland or not. I'll have to check and see. Yeah. Either way, what choice do you have?
Yeah.
Gotta have it done.
Government's got to get their money somehow.
FSMA course that I did a couple weeks back, they would have charged for. had we not been
Yeah.
part of that group. But I think it was like
Yeah.
$85 they were charging for that course for
Just
the
to take the
Produce Safety
course.
Alliance. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like 4 years ago when I took the Gap class, I could have swore that I paid, like, not much, like 20 or $25 for it, so I was surprised to see it was free this time,
Yeah, that's
which was
it
good,
usually
so
does charge. Like if you go anywhere else that we've looked at, you have to pay for the gap class. So when Carol said she's willing to do it for free virtually over line, I'm like, let's
yeah,
get this going. And then she like
yeah,
put it to 25 people. We're like, told our students first, told people on YouTube here first, like you better get signed up because that's going to sell out. Sell out.
yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah,
going to fill up. You don't get to pay, but it's going to fill up, and it
yep,
did. It did fill up. So
yep, yeah, and so you guys are good to hang out with me and Mike for 8 hours too.
and Jess,
Yeah, and Jess too, yep. Jess may or may not be on camera. I
probably
doubt
not. Doubt it. She's been on camera more, guys. If you look at a lot of our YouTubes or lives that we're doing, showing us planting and everything else and harvesting, she's on there. So Oz is that coming out from behind the curtain a little bit.
Well, I
Yeah,
would
it does
be mean
exist.
if I made you plant alone.
I mean, you do all the watering, so I mean, that's the least you could do.
Yeah. I could plant by myself. It's going to take me double the time.
Don't say that.
I couldn't do
Okay,
it.
see ya.
Bye.
All right. So we're at the time frame here. We've kind of gone over and chit
The
chat.
terrific
So-
trio. Just had to add
Thanks,
that.
Tracy. And
Nice.
harvesting. No, I will not do harvesting by myself. No. It already takes some days to do it as is. So
Yeah.
I'd have to start it way earlier. So no. I'd harvest
That's so
all
funny.
week long. That's all I do. It's harvest.
Yep. What's
right.
harvesting? How many people do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not yet. Not yet.
No, I still harvest. I do help on Wednesdays, just try and get them through that because it's a
Big
big,
one.
big day. So yeah, it's nice having a fourth person available to
All right, you
harvest.
got-
I usually help them like. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say I usually just help them like halfway through the day, and then the second half of the day I just spend labeling everything and getting orders put together, printing more labels, and all that fun stuff. So it's kind of a half a day harvesting, which isn't too bad. But
See, I
can't
bet
help it.
you.
They're really freaking good at what they do. So
Yeah,
they don't even
that's
need
good.
me at this point.
That's good. Yeah, I make the kiddo that comes in and works for us. He does all the labeling. So I hate labeling. I'd rather pack and harvest and stuff than label. But
Yeah,
yeah, whatever.
yeah. I've done
If
most
you-
of the labeling for the last couple of years, so it's nice.
So you're
It's easy.
probably very quick at it.
Oh, yeah.
If you're over on the YouTube side, if you're on Facebook side, make sure you get yourself to StreamYard and put in hashtag Thumbcast. We'll be doing the giveaway here in about 30 seconds. So you got about 30 seconds if you haven't put it in yet. No, Joe, you got to be here to win.
Yep.
Just
Sorry,
kidding.
Joe.
All right, dinner. You're having dinner already? It's only like, what, 5:30 there?
Yeah, might be 6:30.
6:30. I haven't had dinner yet even. So, all right. Hey, Bean Bear, how are you? Welcome. We're getting ready to do our free giveaway, so you might be able to stick in hashtag Thumbcast real quick and get in for the giveaway. But we're gonna. Who's our guest today? I don't know if these people all put it in,
Oh.
but I'm gonna go with Sunny. I haven't seen Sunny here
I'm
before.
gonna go with
With that.
Pat Dale. Pat Dale's my guess.
Pat Dale's also a member of our course, lifetime member.
Nice. Dan's Johnny Seeds just arrived. Nice.
Nice.
All right, whoever just put in hashtag Thumbcast, you're just listed as a Facebook user. If you did it from Facebook, you're going to want to go to streamyard.com/Facebook and connect your account. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that, but it won't show up.
That
So
is
you
a
definitely
meta
want to
thing.
go to streamyard.com. Yeah, that's just a stupid thing that Facebook does. So go to streamyard.com/Facebook, connect your account, and then repost the hashtag Thumbcast, and then it'll register you as your actual Facebook user.
Or you can come over to Itty Bitty Microfarms YouTube real quick,
Yeah.
or you can go over to Andy's YouTube real quick and put in hashtag Thumbcast because YouTube doesn't make you do that.
Yep, exactly. And I don't know if they do it on my YouTube page, if it would show up here or not. I'm not sure how that works.
It would. It'd show up here.
Does it?
Mhm.
Oh, nice.
Anything
Good to
that's
know.
connected to this stream would show up here on the chat.
Oh,
Besides-
that's true. That makes sense because my Facebook people are. So
Besides Instagram. Instagram doesn't show up if anybody's commenting over on Instagram.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Gotcha.
it shows up. All right.
Nice.
One more. Oh, Thomas sneaking in at the end.
Yeah,
All
right
right.
at the very last second.
Let's bring the wheel up.
The old microgreen kitchen.
Or the name picker. I'm gonna call it the name picker. So
The wheel
bring
of
that up.
names.
The wheel of names. Or
The wheel of
not
names.
the wheel yet. We're on the name picker right now. So it's gonna be the scrolling through the names. That's done with StreamYard's software. We have no effect of it. Justice pushes the button to draw a name. And then if you do win, tell us how many times you want to spin. Like Joe's already done 22 times if he wants to spin because he likes to make Just hit that button a lot. So anywhere from 1 to 22. Since Joe already put 22, I was going to do 1 for 20, but Joe put 22. So 1 through 22 for her to spin that. And then you'll be able to have a chance to win. So get ready for that. If you do win, put that in right away. If you don't pick right away, we give it a few seconds and we just pick 7. So, yeah, I got Sunny.
I got Pat Dale.
Mark's already putting his number in.
Mark's already putting his number in. That's confidence right there.
If you want to go ahead and put your number in, go ahead. Put your number in. Austin, there you go. Put your number in, guys. Let's go. Everybody put a number in. Everybody put a number in. Let's go. There we go.
Yeah. All right, Pat's got 12. Pat, you're my chance here. Come on, man.
Tracy. I don't have a screen, dear.
Sunday 13.
Oh, so
Oh, all right.
What? Okay. We're gonna do 2 winners tonight because we weren't showing that, and I don't want you guys to think that we were doing anything funny business or anything. So Tracy, you won. We'll spin the wheel for you first for 3 times. And then we'll spin the wheel again for whoever else won. So we'll draw again. So yeah. Justice's computer was acting wonky and froze. So we'll do another spin here. So go ahead and put your numbers in. So, and we'll get another winner here. So lucky you guys, our stuff messed up. We'll have 2 winners. We'll make sure it's only 1 for Andy. If he wins, if it lands on his stuff, we'll give something away for us. If he lands twice on Andy, I don't want to do that to Andy because it's our mess up. Let's spin again for the winner here. Yeah, spin the other winner, and then we'll spin for the win there. The wheel.
Hoffman's choice put in 1.5. So, Jess, if you can figure out how to click the mouse 1.5 times.
Lightly type it. Like, It's going to be Sunny this time if he's in. I don't know if he's in.
Yeah.
Oh, there was. Oh,
Come on, Pat. Come on, Pat.
Oh, Jennifer.
Hey.
All right.
All right. Congrats, Jen.
Almost Aspen. All right. Sunny almost. I've seen Sunny's name twice. I was almost right. Yes, let's do 3 for Tracy first and see what Tracy wins. And then Jennifer, if you can go and put yours in if you haven't yet. So I'll go look. I don't see it. So Jennifer, go ahead and put your number in. How many times you'd like that be spent? If I don't see it, we'll do 7. Good luck, Tracy. 3 times.
3 times for each. That makes it easy. All right, so we're spinning for Tracy.
Ooh, farm flow.
Ooh.
T-shirt.
Stop.
Tracy's already in. So we're going to give her an awesome t-shirt. Awesome. Tracy's already in Growth Bites.
Nice.
So that would be a bad one for her to win. So either way,
gotcha.
we're going to get an awesome t-shirt right here. Ask me about microgreens. Or we'll send one out. We also got one that says, I like fast food. That's why I grow microgreens. So you can pick either one of them.
Love it. Love it.
Jennifer, you won. Jennifer, so you said you got disconnected, but you won. So give us a number.
I think she said 3.
I didn't see. Oh, 3. I didn't see it. 3 on there. You're being nice to you tonight.
I know, right?
All right, let's see if she can win something from Andy. Oh, that one-on-one with Andy's coming up.
It is. She's had one with me too already.
Come
on, stop. Oh
No,
man.
so close, Jennifer. Jennifer, you will get the crop planning sheet. Just email me, Mike at Microgreen Business Coaching. Tracy, you can just get a hold of me in the school group, or SKOOL group. And I'll just get a hold of you there and that and everything else. But Jennifer, you can email me, Mike at microgreenbusinesscoaching.com right there. And we'll get that out to you guys. Any parting words for the people, Andy?
No, I mean, just try and get in the habit of doing social media stuff as best you can. That's really going to help you grow your local business really quickly. Get into your local Facebook groups and things like that. Try and, just it's free advertising basically. And you're talking to people that live near you. So it's a great way to just build your business, at least from a, subscriber standpoint. It's an easy way to get things moving. So, but other than that, just don't give up. Keep pushing forward.
Just keep showing up. Keep showing up every day, posting every day, doing something. It will work out in the end. Promise me it works if you show up and you're consistent. Appreciate you guys all being here tonight. Thanks for joining us. Remember, we will be gone next week. Andy's got something special going on. We got the expo going on. It's just going to be too complicated to get it all worked because he's going to be remote and everything else, and I'll be remote. If one of us was live in studio, it'd probably work out, but we're not. So we will see you guys in 2 weeks. So that'd be March 9th.
Yep.
We would be right after we do the GAP certification class. So that'd be fun. Also, but we can't miss 2 in a row. So we definitely will be there on March 9th at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We will see you guys there. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Yeah. Appreciate all the great comments, guys. We're seeing them roll through. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.